best be cleaning out your ears. The moment has arrived, the greatest podcast on earth is here. Reverse engineering propaganda fear, like a UFO with bombardier. Simulating we'll lose, make it crystal clear. Stomping all you gay frogs, toppling the throne of Magog. All that will hold him down a day job. So tell me where my sheep will at. Raise your hands and make them clap, but shut the fuck up, that's enough of that. The hosts are about to spit some straight up facts. Tell you where the Templars stashed their cash. Describe what Katie Couric looks like underneath their mask. Exposing these goblins no matter where they're at. Stay tuned for all of that.
Welcome to Popularity Contest, episode 9. Myself, Will Lose, alongside Original Simulant, as always. What is going on? Breathing man, what is going on?
You can hear my breathing again?
Or
no? Can you can? Hold on.
Just when you breathe. You're good. And then
Okay.
We're joined with young Kazooie, the producer. Kazooie, say what up to the people. We can hear your voice.
What's going on?
Oh, God, Kazooie. Just out of control already.
Young K.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Kazooie's gonna be producing for us, running some stuff in the background, pulling up some bullshit, answering questions for us. He's a young person. We thought it'd be cool to every once in a while get the input of a young person on some of these takes because, you know, I'm a little bit older. Russ is, I don't know, whatever, like
Vietnam veteran.
You're like Yoda at this point. Which is
Not
fine.
Baby Yoda either.
Do you have a Yoda? Do you do a Yoda voice?
That's a classic impression, isn't it? No. I didn't do my Bane. I didn't open with Bane like I meant to. Damn it.
That's okay.
Is it too late?
No, it's never too late for a Bane. Go ahead and do it. Give me a Bane.
Hold on a second. Give me
It's a whole
It's like you won't be here if I don't do it like that. I was born in the darkness.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking gay. All right, and then wait, hold on.
Oh God, that was terrible.
Did you hear that?
Oh,
Here's Darth Vader. Here's Darth Vader. What? Was that good?
Immediately started off the rails, which is fine. So, we just had Thanksgiving that just took place, and how was your Thanksgiving? Was that all right? Your COVID Thanksgiving?
Fair. It was fair.
Yeah.
No, it was good. I think. I don't know. Made the turkey.
Nice.
And all the gimmicks.
Yeah, I went to a secret Thanksgiving, so that because I wasn't invited to any family Thanksgivings, and I don't know if that has to do with COVID or if it's my personality. It might be more of that, but there was like a secret Thanksgiving with my friend's family and his parents, and at one point, the cousin of the family called in, and he's a medical doctor. And he zoomed in so they made us all hide off screen so that he didn't find out they had people over to their house on Thanksgiving. They were hiding, so the doctor didn't freak out, because he called in to say Happy Thanksgiving and to remind everyone that people are dying in mass and all this stuff. Which,
do you mean to have this cyclopean thing going on, or is this just unintentional?
What are you talking about?
Well, like on the screen, you've got it's like only half your face, like you're doing the one eye thing. I didn't know if it was like a Masonic signaling or.
No, I think that might just be your screen. I don't mean to do that. I think we're all right.
Well, now I can't. Now it's both eyes. So I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, but here's the thing. So when it comes to what's interesting is I came across some stuff earlier this week that I didn't see anybody talking about what related to COVID deaths, and I wanted to get into this shit right away. Because actually first we'll finish with Thanksgiving first, because Thanksgiving in the United States, we have the Macy's Day Parade, as you're aware of, the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade. And that's like a big deal in the United States for anyone that's not familiar. It takes place every year on Thanksgiving, and it's apparently the largest parade in the world. We're told
what?
Yeah, this is the
what
on their Wikipedia.
This sounds like a hoax. What about Mardi Gras?
This is what they say. They say it's because they might claim based off viewers on TV, because they claim 50 million people watch it at home, and that they get an additional 3.5 million attendees in New York City live. So they're guessing like 54 million people a year watch this thing. And you know what?
None of them saw 9/11. Interestingly,
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because this year's Macy's Day Parade was a little bit different than all the other years because of COVID, right? So, and this is Macy's Day, it's a big deal. Like I looked it up. The average cost to hold the parade is between like 10 and 12 million dollars for this parade. The taxes alone, like the property tax for what they got is like $138,000 or something, right? It's the costumes were like 2 million. It's a huge big deal. And millions of people watch this thing every year, and they did it again this year, and it was a big success as usual. Apparently there were no complaints, and the reason is because the vast majority of people who watched it didn't realize that it was a fake event. It wasn't even a real parade this year. It turns out that the people got psyoped into wasting their time on the holiday, where they usually spend time could be spending time with their family or enjoying a day off, for the people that get the pleasure to do that, to watching a fake event, because uh and the other thing is most of them had already watched this event, because to keep the people safe amid the pandemic, this year's parade was compressed. It was a compressed made for TV live event that only stretched one block instead of the normal 2.5 miles. And
2.5 miles.
2.5
Yeah.
miles is what they usually go. And they made it one block, and it was all set up on TV. And to avoid attracting crowds, most of what the viewers saw on TV on Thanksgiving was pre-recorded. And nobody talked about this. And most of the balloons shown throughout the telecast, they have the giant parade balloons, were from pre-recorded uh, events from like the previous years. So it was like a big hoax. The whole thing was a hoax. And it's funny you mentioned 9/11, because it's like that's the kind of shit that it reminds me of. It's like well coordinated uh, media events of like using stock footage and along with live news anchors, and making it seem so uh, fluid that the viewers don't even realize what they're watching. And in this case, nobody complained. The information's out there. The Macy's people got interviewed by the New York Post, but they didn't talk about it during the stream. They didn't. You can go out and find the information, but they weren't letting people know that this was a big fake waste of your time that you'd already watched, and that we just trick people into it. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I've never been to a movie theater where they've been like, the most important thing we can tell you before the movie starts is that the movie is fake. Please don't confuse the idea that Interview with the Vampire is real, that it's fake.
But the gimmick is that it's a live event. That's why it's so impressive.
No, yeah, of course.
Parade. So it's like they sell them that, and it's not. You just wasted your fucking time watching a pre-recorded thing. No, it's whatever. Maybe people enjoyed it, but
maybe the selling point isn't for most people that it's live anyway. But the idea that it's like it slips in with the in the current of just normalcy is really
and the fact that they pull it off without people knowing. That was interesting.
Well, they could never do that, because how many people would have to be in on it? Like 20? No.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why aren't there? Is YouTube flooded with videos of people who captured the fakery of the parade?
There are people attempting to, but they had blockades set up so far around, and the cops yelling at people that you couldn't see it, because since it was only a block long, they tried to make it look like Sandy Hook, basically, where they have like the kids going in one side, then coming out the other side, and then coming back around. It was like that. But from the angle where the crowds were able to view, they could just see like a corner of the one section of it, so they didn't get to see what was going on.
Of course, yeah.
If any of them were rewatch the thing, they're gonna be like, I didn't see 80% of that, because the day of Thanksgiving they had an event, but it wasn't the event. It was just the NBC news broadcaster carnies sitting there, pretending that they're watching a thing.
The idea is, though, that like any kind of anomaly, like the kind of normie idea is that like any kind of anomaly encountered by people would instantly be like recorded, and then would always be recorded and then just like instantly uploaded. And so that if it was like no one would doubt that this happened, right? Because it makes sense, the pandemic and all this stuff. But just the idea that like anyone who happened to foot it out there on accident, might encounter this. Oh, what a bummer. But where's their videos of them, like, and probably some are out there, but like of them just like, oh, we tried to go to the parade and we can't go because of this, and here's the barricades, and taking all this time to elaborately show you all the blockading and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that stuff doesn't always, come out with the population. It's not that important. It's important when we look back on the stuff and it's like evidence and stuff of what happened. But sometimes there just isn't. It just isn't there. It was there at some point, but it isn't captured in the sense that the layperson even thought it was that important to capture it.
I just thought this was a great example of like how media fakery can be pulled off right in front of people's faces, and it
Right?
just seems
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
fluent, and people don't even
Even in the
notice.
media age,
Right.
even more so in the media age. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
This is like
It's just,
this is not conspiracy theory. This is what it is. I mean, they just carnied them,
and this is why when I still don't like the idea, like when when people are like I wasn't there or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't there. Well, if you were there, maybe you would see the gimmick, right? But how would you know? Too, you might be in such a position that you might not be able to know for sure anyway. Maybe you
Right.
maybe if it were open and you happen to be the person on the one block and you have no idea that it didn't actually go the other distances. But in this case, it's obviously a set or whatever. But you can do so much with this stuff. Like when I was at the in Universal, I think it was maybe Hollywood Studios in Orlando. We go to the Indiana Jones stunt spectacular.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. So they walk you through the stunt show gimmick, and they do some stunts on stage. But it's a large amphitheater, but they have 3 at least kind of large scenes that would be famous scenes from the movies. But the way they're set up and stuff, you see like that obviously movies are shot in studios, or at least used to be, and that they could have so much they can give so much through photography and or cinematography that it appears so much bigger than it is, but really it's just very well contained. You don't
Right.
really consider when you're in the middle of it that to the right and the left of the damn stage is just like it's not the fucking Mayan temple. It's just
Like
fucking
like this right now. I don't think people like people might think that you're like in the space station right now based off, but you're just you're just in a very fancy news studio right now in this show. They don't realize what's
I'm
going
not
on
on
at
the
all.
ISS.
Yeah, you're in like a top high level CAA recording studio right now.
Yeah, clearly.
So
But they
you
would
might
have
be surprised to find out that I'm actually just sitting on a couch. So this is just how crazy it can get. Believe it or not, this is just a couch.
they had one of the things they would ask for volunteers from the audience, and the volunteers would make up the crowd in the theater section, or in the for the stage act that they would reenact. So they get like 5 or 6 people, and they the way they set it up and the way they move them and stage them is it like your mark's here, then you go there, and then you go back to here and back to there. The movement, all of it, the frenetic energy, it makes it seem so much larger. With very few people, they can make it seem like a lot of people are there
Yeah,
very easily. But
yeah.
I can't do it. Not easily as in the sense I could do it right away, but much more simply than is considered. So
Movie magic, dude. It's fantastic. Anyway, I thought that would just be like that was just an interesting connection for Thanksgiving, and I thought that'd be a cool thing to open up with for anyone that's interested in that. But back to my initial point, which was regarding COVID shit. I came across an interesting thing. So you remember the Event 201 stuff?
oh sure, from Seattle.
So that was coming out from Johns Hopkins.
Mm.
And Johns Hopkins recently there was like a little drama that happened at Johns Hopkins regarding COVID-19 because one of their economics carnies, one of the like associate or assistant directors of their economics department wrote a paper and did a live stream where she broke down this paper on behalf of Johns Hopkins, where she basically came to the conclusion that COVID is a hoax. And she went on stream and started talking about this on like an official Johns Hopkins stream. And they had to, cover it up and all this shit. But I was going to go over this because I think it is just fucking fascinating. Because what she did is she went over all the raw data from the CDC, and she she went over like all the death data and all this shit, right? And wanted to compare the numbers for how many people had died this year versus past years. And so let's see what happened. So hold on a second. Okay, so it was already well established that COVID-19 is a disease that is most dangerous to those over the age of 65. This is what an article written on this, who have pre-existing conditions. In the United States, there have been an observed 2.1% mortality rate, with elderly individuals making up over half that number. Young people aren't affected significantly or impacted as far as mortality. And that's like kind of been the thing that everyone's been talking about. But one of the most important factors when it comes to COVID is the preventing excess death. This is like a thing that they've been bringing up a lot, these news carnies, right? And these official carnies. And so a quote from the CDC is estimates of excess deaths can provide information about the burden of mortality potentially related to the COVID-19 pandemic, including deaths that are directly or indirectly attributed to COVID-19. Excess deaths are typically defined as the difference between the observed numbers of deaths in the specific time periods and expected numbers of deaths in the same time periods. So essentially, there's an average number of deaths per year due to a variety of causes.
Well, there's an exact number of deaths per year. You understand? Yeah.
No,
Last year, there was a very specific number of people who died.
Right. And this includes more.
It includes everyone who died.
Heart disease, cancer, all these things.
Yeah, everyone who died.
This makes sense though. This is an important piece. The cancer and heart disease. Okay, those are like the leading cause in the United States of morbidities. For COVID-19 to be a serious cause of alarm, it would need to significantly increase the number of. We're talking about average deaths right now, based off of however, according to the study, using the effective deaths in the United States from CDC's website, it is not a big deal at all. And I'm going to send Kazooie a screenshot real quick of this is going to be deaths from 2014, all causes through November 26, 2020. Okay, so this is like the most recent data that we have. I'm gonna see if I can get them to pull this up for us, and I will describe it in the meantime. So what it is basically we end up averaging about 65,000 deaths a year, and from 2014 to November or September 26, 2020, and it's the same amount of deaths every year, including this year. According to the graph constructed using single data provided by the CDC from the last 6 years, total deaths have remained relatively constant, and increase can be explained by various factors such as larger populations. So there's like a relative increase based off the population increase. The spikes in deaths in 2020 are consistent with historical trends, only topping 2018 by 11,000 deaths. There have been over 262,000 deaths attributed to COVID-19 in the US, yet total deaths have not increased in an alarming capacity. They have only mirrored existing trends. In short, according to the 6 years of data collected by the CDC, COVID-19 has not led to any significant increase in deaths. And the reason I brought up heart disease and cancer earlier being the specific major factors in the United States is that the spike in COVID-19 deaths seen in 2020 has coincided with a proportional decrease in deaths from those diseases. And this is a lot of people have speculated this, but now the data is actually out there by the CDC. So this suggests that according to this lady from the head of the economics, or this assistant head of the economics at Johns Hopkins, that the death toll is misleading, and she believes it's due to the heart disease, respiratory disease, influenza, pneumonia that may be being recategorized due to COVID-19, which people have speculated and said that this is what's happening. But I'm saying like the data is there now. So what happened is this lady comes out and does this stream, and people lose their mind. It gets it gets removed from the website. I was able to pull up I went through the Wayback Machine and grabbed the article that she originally wrote. It's now available, I think, at archive.org, but it's been either removed or crashed. from the Johns Hopkins website, and there's even an editor's note on the article. If you click on it, that's like the video. It's been pulled by Johns Hopkins. It was a Johns Hopkins newsletter, is what it was. It says you can read the announcement here. They have a little hyperlink and then an additional explanation here. And what they explain why they took it off.
Because it's dangerous, probably. Let me just guess.
Okay.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's misleading. It's minimizes the seriousness of a pandemic. It
minimizes
undermines
the impact of the pandemic. You were very close on that word. Minimize the impact of the pandemic. That's funny that you said that. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then undermines public health, and yeah.
I'm going to give you the exactly what they said, which is very interesting. So it was brought to our attention that our coverage of Genevieve Briand, who is the economist, presentation on COVID-19 deaths, a look at the U.S. data has been used to support dangerous inaccuracies that minimize the impact of the pandemic.
Oh, there you go. It's used to support.
Mm-hmm.
There, it's the usage of it. I gotcha. Yeah.
Yep. We decided on November 26th to retract this article to stop the spread of misinformation, as we noted on social media. They went to
on
Twitter.
Social media, where it's important. That's where you get the fucking news out. Yeah.
That's right. It says, however, if it is our responsibility as journalists to provide a historical record, we have chosen to take down the article from our website, but it's available. It's available, and they have a hyperlink that just says here, this big, as a PDF. And then on the PDF, when you click on it, it has like a giant redacted thing across the whole fucking thing over and over.
What has she said about it? Sorry.
Nothing. But
nothing.
In accordance with our standards for transparency, we are sharing with our readers how we came to this decision. The newsletter is an editorially and financially independent student-run publication. Our articles and content are not endorsed by the university or the School of Medicine. It says that Briand's study should not be used exclusively in understanding the impact of COVID-19, but should be taken in context with countless other data published by Johns Hopkins, the World Health Organization, and the CDC. As assistant director of Masters in Applied Economics program at Hopkins, she is neither a medical professional nor a disease researcher. As her talks, she herself stated,
not the right type of carny.
That's
nope.
Exactly right.
Nope.
You're over here telling people, well, how the
you're not supposed to run the fucking You're not. Your job isn't to run the fucking goldfish booth.
That's right. You sell corn dogs.
That's right. And what you're only filling in for the day because Mary Lou couldn't be there.
What's the best carnival thing to like booth to run in your opinion? Like, what would you prefer?
The one with the mouse, the gimmick where the mouse runs around the wheel. Any of the one you don't have that one in Illinois? They got the big wheel, the big roulette style wheel. They drop a mouse. Man, the carny stands in the middle. Yeah, and the carny stands in the middle. He spins the big fucking wheel. All the people on the outside have already placed their bets on all these colored tiles.
African American.
Right. Well, nowadays. And then so you put a quarter on it, and then the mouse, the carny lets him out of the box, and then the mouse runs around the gimmick, and wherever he stops, whatever hole, whatever hole he goes into,
it's because each with a mouse.
Right.
That's fantastic. See, the one I would, so you'd want to run that one. Is that your favorite, or is that the one you'd want to run? Or
I think that's the moneymaker.
Okay, I would like to do the guess the weight one. Just because I would have a blast with that one. Just no matter what, doesn't matter what size the chick is, I'm never saying a number under 210. No matter what. I think that would be fantastic. I'm just going to go there and try to ruin people's nights.
Well, the thing is, though, how many people go to that one? Everybody goes, if no one's going to it because they don't want their weight guessed, well,
right. Dudes with six packs and the hottest chicks. You never see it's nobody with that's actually like 260 that's there. It's like, go ahead and guess my weight. It's like, I don't know, 500 pounds. I don't know.
500 and over.
Yeah. So here's some additional stuff on this, though. Briand was quoted in the article as saying, all of this points to no evidence that COVID-19 created any excess deaths. Total death numbers are not above normal death numbers. And then it says, this claim is incorrect and does not take into account the spike in raw death counts
Raw death.
from
Yes.
all causes compared to previous years. According to the CDC, there have been almost 300,000 excess deaths due to COVID-19. So apparently the same CDC has different numbers, even though she pulled up those numbers. But additionally, Brianne presented data of total U.S. deaths in comparison to COVID-19 related death as a proportion percentage, which this is the best line, which trivializes the repercussions of the pandemic. The evidence does not disprove the severity of COVID-19. An increase in XX deaths is not represented in the proportionalities because they are offered as percentages, not raw numbers.
God damn. Here's an idea. What's the fucking raw numbers? Get the fuck over this. Well, no, they have to know.
They won't tell you on this, though. They're not.
Well, they have to. I'm not saying they have to know in this way that like a monolithic. We know how many people have died, but they have a actuarial somewhere. If they have anything that has a hard number, if they have something that says total deaths for 2019, it'll have a number. If it's not, and that has to be either the number of people who died in 2019 or not the number of people who died. The number of people who died in something else. It's either that or it's not. So if they don't have the exact number of people who died in 2019, what are they fucking talking about? Just in general. Where are they even going to? You know. So now they have to have some number. This hard, constant, and then so they have the constant, and then what's the number up to? I'm not gonna make them say they have to know up to today who fucking died, but fuck up to what is it now? December. How about 6 months ago? Can you tell me who died 6 months ago? An exact number,
right,
of people, not COVID-19, just death total. What are those two numbers? Do they have?
They're doing percentages.
Of course, they're always doing percentages. You do know why? I mean, because it's always in the fuckery. It comes in the percentages, you know. Yeah.
Right.
But
yeah, that's a good point.
But
I do like when people do that when they're talking about these things. They're like one of these carnies, like these, whatever. Take it like a liberal carny that's like lying on TV, and they're like, I don't know why she's saying that. It's like, well, because she's a fucking liar. That's why she's saying it. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, you know why they're saying it.
Or she's gotten all fucked up and mind controlled in the language. But like, I'm okay with statistics. I'm okay with averages, and I'm okay with estimations and approximations and means and medians and all that. I mean, of course, but we have to start it with constants. Like, what are the constants? Because they're either available or they're not. And if they're not available, it's like the whole thing's completely poisoned. You know, like the whole thing's completely fucked up. If they don't have any constants available, you know, we have to know what the constants are before we can start with the fucking averaging. It's ridiculous. So why not establish that stuff? Why is it all this fucking redefinitions and all these language that means that gets further and further away from the basic, you know? Start with the raw data, but start with the real, you know?
Right.
How many people died? How many people didn't? Like, or actually, I don't care about how many didn't, just how many died and how many at the moment, you know, from then to now.
Well, you need that.
Where's it at?
Also, like a total population, and then how many people died, and then you can compare that year to year.
You can go all over the place, but at least if you fucking know, like, at least just give me the fucking numbers. At least show me what the data is you're starting with. Where's your starting points? Because otherwise, it's just taking somebody's word for this stuff. Even though, I mean, their data is like taking their word for it anyway. But it's just such a fucking joke. It's such a fucking scam.
They don't even take their own. They're publicly not taking the pandemic serious. Like, even the people that claim to be taking it the most serious. There was an article I saw about vaccine, like one of these, Pfizer or whatever. You know, there's like a few of these vaccine carny people that are like, I'm trying to say that we got the one, and they're like, we've got it all worked out. We got it tested. We're good. And they brought it to like the CDC or whatever, and they're like, or whoever the board is that's got to approve this. They're like, you need to test, run your tests or whatever, go through your meeting. That's all it is, a board meeting. They're going to vote on whether to approve it. And they're like, yeah, we'll schedule that for December 13th. So apparently they're so worried about everybody dying every fucking day. It's the biggest deal in the world, but they're willing to put it off for 3 weeks to just have a vote on whether or not the vaccine that already apparently works and has been proven to work. But it's like, we'll wait 3 weeks to even talk about it.
and all the emergency the chancellor has been granted emergency powers. All the emergency nonsense. That all, we can still wait. Yeah, of course, every time. The average, yeah, it's just the medical stuff, and then you just you bring up the talismanic saving lives and stuff. And it's like the witch doctor. I mean, it's completely witch doctor shit, really. Ayn Rand has her economic comparison of like the her economic leadership comparison of like the Attila the Hun and the fucking witch doctor. And this is what you have, like these, but just translated to this. But it's kind of a marriage of them. But this is completely the fucking witch doctor, right?
Yeah.
But people buy it. It starts storming more than you remember it storming last year, and fuck, the gods must be angry. So.
Yeah, no, I mean that's it's just another. I don't usually like to go into these things, but it was just like another kind of like a example of all this horse shit. But
but then their hair's on fire. What's the conservative reaction to this? Have you been monitoring that at all? Like, have the right who've been licking their wounds from the election debacle, have they seized onto this at all? Or
well, what's interesting is that there's definitely a split when like what the media that represents these people claim these people are talking about and what these people are actually talking about. Because the vast majority of these like right-wing people, even though Trump was like the guy pushing, he's like he had all the he was working supposedly whatever, but he was publicly working with the pharmaceutical companies. He had his Operation Warp Speed to get the vaccine out quickly, right? But all of his like very extremely online type followers, most of these people are hip to being like, I'm not fucking taking that vaccine. These fucking corporations,
right.
So but they'll compartmentalize. So like the news will misrepresent the fact that most of them are talking online, being like, yeah, I'm not taking the vaccine. They never mention that, like, even though Trump tells me I should, they just pretend in their head that Trump also said, like, would believe that we shouldn't take the vaccine. So the media represents
this is at some kind of dangerous effect, or I guess I'm asking, is anyone talking about this?
Yeah, no, people are talking about it. I'm saying that the right-wing media tries to make it seem like the right-wing people that support Trump are in support of the vaccine. But if you go on the internet, the vast majority of them are not. Like they're actively against it. So there's a disconnect, and it's different than the left, where like the left are pro-vaccine, except for when it got. This is why it gets so confusing. They were pro-vaccine until Trump was pro-vaccine, and now they're like. And one, then now they're all like
all his big corporate buddies. I thought Big Pharma was bad.
I know, right? Oh, did you know that we're not anti-vaxxers?
Me? I'm not. I'm not. Don't use that word around me. No, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Okay, I didn't know. What am I?
You're not an anti-vaxxer.
What have I been defined as?
A normie?
No, I thought you said I was. You said we're not anti-vaxxers. I thought you were going to say we had. Oh, okay.
No, we're not anti-vaxxers, because the mainstream, even Bill Gates to this point, Bill Gates did an interview on like NBC or something like this, where he's saying that like, we don't, because I think they're like running cover for like all these people, these people, like they call them anti-vaxxers or whatever, but like the general consensus on the internet of people that are like, fuck, there's a lot of sketchy information about the history of vaccines out there. So they're like getting ahead of it or trying to make people feel more comfortable because these polls, whatever the fucking polls are worth, but 30 to, depending on the day, 30 to 60% of the people say they're not going to take this fucking vaccine. So they come out and Bill Gates is like, we know that these vaccines might not be safe. That's why we want to make sure we're testing them. And then CNN came out and did like a breakdown of like the history of vaccine damages, all the way going back to like the SV40 in the 60s, the polio vaccine that like gave all these people cancer supposedly. And then
and HIV supposedly.
And HIV. Yeah. And so now Bill Gates is an anti-vaxxer. He's saying that vaccines aren't safe because he's like, but we're going to be the ones that are going to make it safe. So it's like, and then all the lefties jumped on this. I got people in my work telling me, they're like, oh, did you know that like you can't trust vaccine manufacturers because they like rush to production and there's no oversight? I was like, oh, they do?
Those people in Africa are blind?
Yeah, right.
What?
So
and sterile? What?
So I was like, Well, that's what I've always said. And people called me an anti-vaxxer for being like, "Oh, I don't trust like mass manufacturing of these like no oversight, whatever." That's like my stance. Like I don't take a traditional stance when it comes to vaccines in the conspiracy world. I'm more of like I'll assume that it works the way they say it works. I understand a decent amount of the science on it from when I was in school for nursing, and I've researched a lot about it. So let's say that it works the way they say it works, that a virus works the way they say
Yeah,
it
yeah,
works,
yeah.
and that if you take the injection, it does. I can see it. The math works out that it would work the way they say it would work. That does not mean that I trust that the manufacturing process of that is up, top notch. It's no different than like if I were to go to I want to get a cheeseburger. I'm going to go down to like, Rick's Cheeseburger Shack if it's a clean enough place. I'm going to get a proper cheeseburger. I'm not going to go to, McDonald's and expect the same quality of cheeseburger when it's made in mass production and they're cutting corners and, they're just trying to make money. Same thing with vaccines. So that's aside from all the stuff of like the possible side effects where like then you go and look into like peanuts, compare it to peanuts where like some people can eat peanuts and be perfectly fine. A small percentage of people can eat a peanut, go into anaphylactic shock and die. So, and people accept that, but they don't accept the possibility of some people might have adverse reactions to some of the ingredients in these vaccines. That's beside that. I'm just talking about a manufacturing thing. And now so is everybody else. So I'm not an anti-vaxxer anymore because of that, I guess, because they're not. If they're not, then I'm not.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, the distinction without the difference, I guess. And they're making telling you that this is so important. These corporations are, they can't be trusted. Again, it's back to the corporations can't be trusted, but yet they put all their faith in these
Yeah, that's a hoax.
the carnies that the fucking corporations put out in front of them, though.
Yeah.
They're all fucking owned.
Saying that corporations can't be trusted as like a movement, a mass movement, is a hoax because those people those are the people that trust the corporations the most, really.
Implicitly, with their fucking all their data, they're becoming hyper online in their own way, extremely online, and they're like, they're so tapped into their own like particular media and stuff. But yeah, those corporations are whatever. But yeah, have you what? Oh, I was I think talking about the difference is, or one of the differences is like the acceptability, the level of acceptability of the consequence for any of this stuff, manufacturing of anything. So it's not that it sucks if the fucking vehicle you bought comes to be found to have a widespread, issue with like the headlight bulbs dying more quickly than perhaps they ought to, and needing replacement stuff. Kind of sucks, right? If it's an inconvenience, it sucks. It's a whole different animal when there's serious repercussions for children. Right. The potential for and especially when it's known that there's a serious, possibility for repercussions for children. So I've always ripped off your M&M example, but like, or was it Skittles or whatever? But you should go into that because I don't want to take credit for it. But
no, you do. I have not done it in a while. I know the one you're talking about. I vaguely. If you've ripped it off, then you've said it more recently than I have. I probably just
that there's this idea that because we get back into percentages, and that it's like everyone always applies percentages to other people, but I've always been the person that kind of applies them to myself. Like if it says like 99% of people will be safe during, well, I guess I'm of two minds of it because sometimes I apply to myself, sometimes I don't. But it's like 99% of people will be safe from a thing, but in 1% there's known to be the chance, or there's for sure going to be one of a certain number of known and possible unknown side effects or consequences. And I'm always like, well, what if I'm one of those people? What would that mean? So it's like if vaccines are known to be safe for, and whether they're effective or not is a whole different animal. But
right.
Whether they're known to be safe.
Just to clarify, when I do talk about the I am talking about regardless of the effectivity, like the efficacy of if they actually function the way they say. But I'm saying if there was like proper testing done into like what are the real effects that I need to worry about, and I could shoot something in and it doesn't work, but it doesn't kill me or doesn't potentially hurt me, I would shoot that in me, even if I don't believe that it actually
It's a
functions.
different level of thing, at least it's to consider like an injection of like something versus some known terrible thing. But regardless, like the statistical thing is, like, so if you know this thing, would you let your child, this if there's a bowl full of M&Ms and the possibility is that like a 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 100,000, there's a bowl of 100,000 M&Ms, but in one of those 100,000 M&Ms is the one that can cause blindness, something very extremely serious, severe retardation, death. Would you let your child take that, plunge his hand in there and take one of those M&Ms? Or would you even, plunge your hand in there and give it to him? Like, would you do it then? Because I'll tell you what, a bowl full of 100,000 M&Ms isn't as many fucking M&Ms as you might think it is. It's not as big as the whole fucking world, and you stick your hand in there. It's not all that big. Right. So, like, would you let your child do it? And if not, why are you comfortable letting someone fucking else's do it? You fucking carny mark fucking bitch. Because what are people that would let their kid stick their kid's hand in the bowl of M&Ms? What are those people?
Those are marks, boss.
That's exactly right. Because they're fucking marks. So don't be a fucking. We're marks for all kinds of shit in life, and that's and if we can find joy in it or enjoyment, that's one thing. But don't fucking go doing that shit. Wake the fuck up. God damn.
Here's something related that I think would be a nice segue using the M&M analogy, because I do think that's interesting. Like, this is something, the M&M one, by the way, just to put a cap on that, you can use that one on anybody. Like, don't just fucking steal that one. I'm sure I don't remember where I heard it or when I came up with it or whatever it was, but I think it can be used for a lot of things. But the idea is, exactly that. If somebody told you there was one of those M&Ms inside of the bowl was potentially poisonous, would you let your kid?
Not potentially, known to be, for sure. Yeah, known to be.
Yeah. Which that's great. But so what that reminded me of when you started talking about that was going back into what we were talking about last episode a little bit. We started doing like some discussions about the mind computer analogy, and then you mentioned earlier like these people happy to give all their data away to these big corporations, and when just so that people like, maybe like it'd be fun to kind of talk about like what they can actually do with that data and how they do what they do with that data when it comes to like mapping.
They don't do anything wrong with that, boss. They can't. That's illegal. That'd be illegal for them to do that.
Well, specifically, what came to mind was the law of large numbers. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, I almost said it earlier just a few minutes ago when I said the high numbers. But yeah, the law of large numbers. Yep.
Okay, so you were thinking kind of your mind went to.
But keep going into it. So if you.
Yeah, so the law in probability theory, the law of large numbers is it's like a theorem that describes the result of performing the same experiment a large number of times. So like if you're like at a carnival, right, you're dealing with these fucking carnies, and they're like, guess how many jars are in the how many M&Ms are in this fucking jar, right? And this is and you're like, oh, whatever. You say 50, and somebody else says like 150, whatever. It's like a big old jar. The more people that you get to guess that, the higher the chances that eventually
someone will have it right.
Someone will have it right. Yeah, that just is what it is. So when you're like mapping data, you can just it's the same idea when it comes to like collecting people's data and mapping the way people's they act based off like whatever everything their phone does. That the phone fucking knows you better than you do because of these same ideas. Like they can just take in everything that you've done forever and eventually get a pretty good picture as to what who you are as a person.
They can get everything you've done in the last day, and get an idea. They can break it down. They can get everything you've done in the last 30 minutes probably, and get it done. Get it down to a pretty good number. Yeah, it doesn't take that. It doesn't take that much in those kind of samples. Interestingly and unfortunately enough, but
yeah, and this goes back into the. This is like another. Put this on the list of like what people they turn on us all the time when we talk about the free will hoax, or the idea of the free will hoax, at least as rhetoric, because I for wiggle room in it.
Yeah, and I should clear that up a little bit after, but keep going, and I'll come back to clearing it up a little bit after
Okay,
this.
yeah, because basically the idea being like, yeah, maybe you do make some decisions in your life, but the phone and the metadata says that you don't, because it pretty much maps out and can prove that you do the same shit every day and you have the same tendencies forever, regardless of how many personal decisions that you're making, and you can't argue with that. I mean, that is what it is. Your phone knows, you're making the same decisions every day, more or less. They know exactly how long you're scrolling, like when you're scrolling on Facebook or whatever social media. They know how slow you go over something. They map that data. They map which things you hover over, how long you sit on a meme, how long you sit on so and so's post, and
How many times you touch? How many times you go back up to the one that had a different color, the one that was pink as opposed to the one that was blue?
right, yeah,
How many times the one with the guy with the big dick? So
yeah,
that's why I try to get myself
100,000,
on every,
100.
over and over, 100,000 minimum.
What was my joke on that? When I go to like,
Have you? Hold on. Have you been using the teeth whitener, boss?
buddy, I've been brushing my teeth 6 times a day.
Fuck,
Yeah.
Kazooie. What if fucking Willou's teeth? Well, goddamn, they're fucking bright as the sun. Or is that just my screen?
Kazooie, we need some input on this. How are my teeth?
They look pretty white. They look nice.
They look white as fuck.
Dude, I've been putting in work 6 times a day minimum. I brush every time I smoke now. So
Do you really?
Yeah, every single time. Well, it's out of respect, because I try to hide that I smoke cigarettes from my son. So
you ain't hiding nothing, boss. Okay, but keep going.
well, he may have eventually someday he's gonna be like, oh yeah, my dad was smoking the whole time. But right now he's just like, can you believe mom smokes, Dad? This is ridiculous. And I'm like, she's such a bitch, I know.
Oh, the smoking
No, I don't.
mind control.
But
Yeah.
I do try. I feel bad because before I started smoking again, this is all on me. I need to figure out a way to come clean with him, because I spent so much time being afraid, like telling him like, don't smoke. Here's the dangers of cigarettes. And this is when I was like being on my like high horse, because I had quit smoking at the time.
Oh,
This is what so like I'm trying to make him not like think I'm a fucking liar. And now I'm lying to him so he doesn't think I'm a liar, because he's young enough. So I'm like, so I brush my teeth so that I can lie to my child. So sad.
Has your son started brushing his teeth more often?
Not because I am. No, it's the opposite. He's like getting more annoyed because I like recommend that. I'm like, oh, you can brush your teeth with me right now. And like the more I bring it up, he hates brushing his fucking teeth.
Yeah, kids tend to hate it, but I just wondered. But sorry, but goddamn, those teeth are like fuck. I don't know if you were on Invisalign or what.
No, dude, I just been because I used the charcoal. Because you got to get the carbon on. You got to get the carbon based shit so that it binds onto the carbon in your mouth, clears that shit out. It feels extra good. You spit the black stuff in there into the sink.
Black stuff.
Yeah, because I use like the charcoal toothpaste. It's just black, so when you're doing it, it looks like you're rubbing, like you just chewed up a bunch of black licorice, and when you spit it out, it just fills a bunch of black gunk inside the toothpaste, whatever, when you put it into the sink. So it makes it feel like you're really cleaning it out, because it just looks like you're spitting tar into the thing, and it's working. Like I was thinking,
I can tell it's working.
Yeah, I noticed. Maybe it was yesterday. It was definitely this weekend where I was like,
God damn. I can't even see the sheen on those motherfuckers.
That's right.
Well, fuck. I got the fucking whitening gimmicks, and
your teeth.
No, boss. I need to work on them again too. I do my own work on my teeth. I don't know if you are aware of that, but I bought some.
Carney?
Oh, I used to do a little bit of dental work on other people's teeth too. A little bit of helping them out,
Really?
because yes, because I hacked it. I hacked on how to like do dental work after
I
was like, this is fucking after the when my wife and I had first gotten married and we had better insurance. I was going to the dentist and they were like doing the gimmick on my teeth and stuff with the tools and stuff. I was like, well, I can fucking get this. I figured. So I looked at the tools they had, first of all, right? That's key. So they got the hook, like the sharpened hook, and then they got like the more dull kind of ish one. So and then I asked them like the right questions. I got the mirror. I got the mirror. But I do it by feel. When I do it to someone else, I do it with the mirror. But by myself, I do it just by feel. So well, the hook goes into your gum, and fuck.
I've never
But
been to the dentist. I don't even. I've seen movies.
you've never been to the dentist.
Nope. Nope. That's not. I lied. I like to lie. One time. One time I went and I got a cleaning, and then I've never gone since. And I've never had a cavity or anything. And knock on wood.
Man, yeah, I forgot how I got into the dental cleaning hoax. But
my teeth.
Oh yeah, I can tell you're proud of them too, because you've been showing those motherfuckers, and that I would be too. God damn, good for you. Good for you.
Did it look like I was trying to get you to compliment me?
No. But
well,
who wouldn't?
COVID-19's a hoax, right?
No, I can relate to like your dentist stuff, like doing your own shit, because once I figured out that, like, because you figure out like you don't really need to go to these fucking people once you like figure out a certain amount of thing. That's like I figured out the same thing when it came to like going to the massage parlors with the Asian whores. I was just like,
if I put my own hand on my dick, I can make myself pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Sorry, I stepped on your joke there.
That wasn't a good joke. It's okay.
I was trying to get my shit in, but
it's okay. Yeah. Anyway, massage. I've never been to a massage parlor, just to clarify. I've been to one dentist, 0 massage parlors.
You never had a massage?
No, I've never been to the dentist. When am I going to get my fucking back worked on? I don't get my teeth worked on. You out of your mind?
You seen the movie Gummo?
Yes, of course.
I think you grew up a bit like Gummo.
I am like Gummo. Oh, dude. I remember first time I watched Gummo, I'm watching it in a room full of people. Right? Explain Gummo. Explain like a general plot. Like what's the essence of the child?
Yeah, hell. It's like the fucking living
trash, white trash.
Oh yeah, but just man, when I used to sell cable television door to door, we had this guy who had just moved to our town from a different town, obviously, but a different cable company as well. And he said, "I've never seen poverty as you go to." So I was going to these trailers. I would be so excited when I'd get the list of leads, and it would be these trailers that had literally, they had no like, you have 4 walls, right? This one was missing like an exterior wall, and it just had like sheets tacked up to it. And I'd like bang on the door, selling him cable. But he was like, "I've never seen this kind of poverty." Well, this is like Gummo.
Yeah, you're like, "What? Bring it in around back. We'll plug it in through your tarp in the back."
Yeah, and the dead cat, we'll just stick it right through its, rib cage. The dead cat stuck to the thing. That's no problem.
So Gummo is like just the white trash.
It's like the anti-life movie. Jesus, it's bad.
So I'm watching this with my friends. I got friends over here, friends over here. We're watching this. We get to like whatever 2/3 of the way through. I'm looking around. People are fucking horrified. I was watching it. And I'm like, when is this movie gonna like turn into something? Because I'm like, I'm not relating with this guy. I'm like, this guy's life's not that bad.
Gummo's. Yeah. I feel you. No, I mean, after you told me about your life, I was like, that's not, Gummo wasn't as bad before.
No, not even a little bit. I remember watching Gummo and knowing that you're supposed to feel like this is supposed to be a representation of like a white trash poor person's life that's like really sad. And I remember being like, you got to act appropriately here, because people are going to think you're weird if like you don't feel bad for Gummo. Meanwhile,
the marks.
This motherfucker. I'm like, that's not a bad life. This kid's, whatever. Isn't there a dead cat involved or something?
Oh, a lot of them. Remember he and his friends, they killed the cats and they sold them to the butcher?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was fucking, dude, Gummo's. I watched it and it made me sick to my stomach. That was
what we used to do every night? Every night we used to go to the bagel shop and dig bagels out of the dumpster.
To fuck them.
Well, we did. We really did do that. We would get a big old like contractor bags just filled with I mean, come on, it's not that bad. They're in a dumpster, which is, filled with piss and shit and stuff. But but they were in like a bag, and they were just like, it was like 300 bagels because they, legally couldn't resell them or whatever, I guess.
Legally.
Well, those were probably like 3-week-old bagels, but they were selling them. They were getting they just wrote one day old on them or whatever. But yeah, we used to eat the shit out of those bagels. And I remember like I'd bring them home to my mom and I'd be like, I'd have like a armful of bagels. I'm like, 8 years old, 210 pounds, armful of bagels, thinking she's gonna yell at me, and she's just like, "Give me one of them bagels."
Who would you be out with at 8 years old? Neighborhood kids?
Yeah, neighborhood kids.
My son is 7, 7 and 7 3/4. He's never been out of the house. Never been out without like my without like my
I'm like that.
trusted adult supervision. Like, never had the opportunity to go out at night and get into a dumpster. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
at a business.
Yeah.
No,
we were out of control. My mom wasn't home, so like they were divorced, but my mom wasn't home most of the time. She worked like midnights, and for like a large chunk of my childhood. So I was like in charge of my younger siblings. And it was like when I was like 10, 11. So I'd be in charge of like a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old, or an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. And
hold on. This is like the CDC report. Let's go back to when you were 8, like you said earlier.
Oh yeah, 8 years old. So by the time I was 8 years old, I was just running my town. Like I could just go out and be. It was like the 50s. Like it was just like come home during when the stoplights are out. But it wasn't at my mom, because my mom wasn't home then either. I was just like, we would just sneak out when she was at work and just go do whatever we wanted. So like we'd go skateboard and stuff, and then we'd go dig for bagels, or try to look through the neighbor girl's window or whatever. 8 years old, dude. By the time I was
at least your teeth are white, boss. At least your teeth are white.
By the time I was 4, I was already like, because I lived at that time, I lived on a farm. I had like my own, like I had been given, like an old neighbor guy had given me like
Ooh, molested, giving you the molest thing.
Give me the thumb. And, and I was like just riding around like, 30 square miles with like a go-kart when I was like 5, I want to say. So like I was just like, but there was not a lot of people around, so I had like a lot of independence. So I was like I wasn't afraid of shit. But I should have been. I mean, it was a horrible life. I shouldn't have been able to leave my house till I was. I mean, to be honest, like just thinking about like the mistakes I've made, like when 26, maybe I should have been allowed to finally leave my house based on like when I finally stopped making bad decisions like that. 30.
Wow. Yeah, but it's your own choices. When you were 4, it was your choices. So back to the free will hoax. Kasui, there's a video about there's a good video about about an incident that occurred to a woman in California about a bucket of hot liquid. Go ahead and play some of that for us, if you would.
I got you.
Just steps away from the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a horrifying random attack.
A homeless man dumped a bucket of stuff on your head.
A bucket of his diarrhea. I didn't want it to be in my mouth, but it was running down my eyes.
For over a year, the NBC4i team has been tracking crimes where the suspects are homeless. Tonight, we have learned those incidents are skyrocketing. Investigative reporter Joel Grover reports on the growing threat linked to the untreated mental illness and drug addiction on LA's streets of shame.
Keep your eye on the woman walking out of this apartment building. A homeless man approaches and suddenly smacks her in the head. There are now thousands of crimes a year like this one in which the suspects are homeless, and in many cases suffering from mental illness or substance abuse.
It's so traumatic. Sorry.
Heidi Van Tassel was walking to her car near Hollywood's Walk of Fame when, according to police and court records, a transient with schizophrenia and psychotic disorders dumped feces all over her.
A bucket of his diarrhea. It was liquid, hot liquid. I was soaked, and I couldn't see. It was coming off of my eyelashes into my eyes.
Paramedics rushed her to the hospital, and she now needs to be tested for infectious diseases every 3 months.
It's something I won't ever forget. It was disgusting. Okay,
so I think that video was not real. I think that lady's a liar.
Really? You don't think that? What about when she said that the diarrhea she was afraid that it got in her mouth? Like she wanted to keep her mouth closed so that the diarrhea. And she emphasized that it was hot.
That doesn't mean anything to me. That I would do the same thing.
Ah.
Because you got to think of where she's at. She's in LA.
Oh, of course I mean, of course I would fucking
It's all
close my mouth. If somebody dumped a bucket of diarrhea on my head, the first thing I would do is close my mouth and eyes and try to close my nose too.
No, I'm saying if somebody told me to just be a carny and come on here and lie about a thing, I would describe it as like running in my mouth, hot diarrhea. I would say these types of things. I'm saying, how do I know that this lady is not just some actress? She's in LA. This is like they use tons of people doing fake stories in LA. Those people get caught all the time. How would I know this is any different? Who would go on camera to talk about that?
And well, it was troubling that the victims advocacy group didn't respond to her right away. You know.
Oh yeah, the what was it? The what was it? The PFFD
PF Jangs.
OF PFFDOF. Is that what it was? The people for diarrhea on your face. I don't know. It was. I'm saying I'm honestly gonna go 50-50. I know that's like a cop out, but I don't know. A lot of these LA people will just go on and lie on the news for stories. People get caught doing that. I used to like enjoy watching those types of videos. I was just watching this terrible documentary last night, and on the documentary, there's a guy making a documentary about some this comedian, the Amazing Jonathan, and then 10 minutes into him making, like, you watching the movie, he's making the documentary. In the time frame of him shooting the documentary, the Amazing Jonathan hires a second documentary crew at the same time to do a second documentary on him, and then eventually a third, and eventually a fourth. So all the documentary ends up being about how the documentarian people are all jealous of each other. It's not even about the guy.
Oh, the simulacra.
Exactly. It's very postmodern. And at one point, the primary documentarian questions this guy, the Amazing Jonathan, Carney, comedian magician combo. That's about that's high level Carney. Las Vegas act, mega millionaire, addicted to meth, even though he's dying. He was given 1 year to live 4 years ago because the way it was described on his charts of his heart, they're like, a normal heart goes like this, bump, 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 bump. This guy's heart up in the corner just goes dun, 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 dun. Addicted to meth, won't stop doing meth. Anyway, so he at one point he's like, why did you bring on this other documentarian? He goes, well, because he's a real guy. He did Man on a Wire, which, remember the Back to the Future?
I saw in the theater.
9/11?
Saw in the theater.
I'm talking Back to the Future predicts 9/11, dude. What are you talking about?
Well, hoax.
You remember
Back
that?
to the Future. Oh, Back to the Future predicts 9/11. Do you remember who made Back to the Future predicts 9/11?
Used to play for the Chicago Bulls. My team.
And Harvard, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Chicago
I don't remember his
Bulls
name. Well, I'm from Illinois.
who's your team? The Pacers. My Pacers. Let me ask you though. Do you think when you say played for the Chicago Bulls, what comes to mind? But when I say played for Harvard, race. What do you think?
Oh yeah, no, he was definitely black.
When I say played for Harvard,
I know he was a white guy. Of course, he was a white guy. Yeah,
of
no.
course, or Asian.
So why do you say? So when I say played for the Chicago Bulls, people assume that he's black?
No. Yes.
By the way, you know why? I used to use this analogy because, like, remember when you first get, I don't know about you, but this is typical for a lot of people. I think you first get into conspiracy theory stuff, and at some point you go down an avenue that lets you know that the Jews did everything, and the Jews are after you all the time, and the Jews run everything, and it's all Jews all the time, right? Like, people can get trapped in that for their whole life. Some people do, but like, it's very easy to fall into that. And the way I got out of it was, this is how I thought about it to myself. I was like, you know how they're like, it's not all the Jews, it's some of the Jews, right? Just like in basketball, it's not there's, basketball is like 99% black people, right? But not all black people play basketball. Does that make sense? You're muted. My point is, you see my analogy? This is how I got out of the idea of like the Jew. It's all Jews are dangerous, or this thing like the conspiracy. It got me into it at one point where I was like, fucking Jews, like they're all no. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know what? I've been a bit distracted because I've been trying to do this bit since the fucking video about this fucking I had this candy bar, and I was gonna this Hershey's bar, and I was trying to get it on my teeth real fucking thick. I was gonna go, your teeth are so white. Look at my teeth. But fuck, I couldn't get it. I couldn't pull it off. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was being very polite because I care about you because you're like a friend, very good friend of mine.
oh
And
no.
I was like looking at the looked like you had like ate a turd on your teeth.
Yes,
And because you
yes.
were complimenting my teeth, and I know you're very self-conscious that your teeth, I was like, I'm gonna have to destroy this recording because he's not gonna let me put this on YouTube because
I thought,
looks like,
yeah,
like what's wrong with it? His teeth are actually bad because I didn't think your teeth are bad, and they're not bad, it turns out. But in there, I'm like, am I just more perceptive? Does he like have a dead tooth or something in there?
no, yeah, it was my bit. I was
That's
working on
funny.
it. Yeah, fuck. Because you
Well,
brought it up
okay.
off air, what I was snacking on. I was trying to low play, low
That's
key,
funny.
you know.
First of all, come from me. You know this about me already. I always respect a bit. I
Yeah.
overdo bits. I'm always doing bits. A lot of people think I'm a bad person because I'm trying to joke too much, and some part of
Yeah.
like joking is like you just say the thing you're not supposed to say and it breaks the tension. It's can be funny. Sometimes it's not.
Especially when there's actually no tension.
Like,
Like, I did this to break the tension. You're like,
sometimes-
tension.
Sometimes I tell the first joke to create the tension, so then I can disable it with the second joke.
But
Like,
damn, I
that's
thought, yeah, now I've been
That's
working
funny.
because it was going to be really over the top. You know, I had them all fucking. I had it all like, but then you.
What do you think? What do you think of my Jew basketball metaphor?
I can't even consider it because of the fucking teeth thing. Because it was such a disaster. I can't even. I'm like, fuck. 9/11 predicts. Fuck. I hate this shit. Fuck.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the video.
I
I'm
know
talking
you're
about
not.
how
I know you're not. It's all a fucking. But it's all a big toilet bowl of cascading diarrhea.
It's
Which
right.
I would say. Hold on. I got to drink some of this and clean my teeth off a little bit. But hold on.
I don't see anything, just so you know. And nobody's sitting at home.
That's
now
all right.
sees anything, or at work. You guys don't have jobs. Let's get back into this. So we.
Abu.
Mhm.
Remember you. So let's get back into this
Yeah.
popularity contest podcast. It's what you need. It's not necessarily what you want. You're
That's
you're sitting around. You don't have like the things you want. I have this fucking candy bar, for example. Parts of it so fucking jammed up into the fucking tops of my gums that I was gonna pull it back because I was even gonna. This is how far ahead I was. I was gonna even do a callback. Was my thinking? You know, I was gonna do the teeth and then be like, I'm bullshitting. You know, and then show it and then do a callback
Yeah. You're
and pull the
playing-
chocolate down from the fucking pocket and do it again. You know, I only have one dead tooth or something like that,
Yeah.
and I fucked it. Now it's all just fucking everywhere. Fuck, what a mess.
You had a lot of confidence in your bit, though, that you were already planning the second part of the bit.
You know, and
based on what
it's a
you
ripoff.
anticipated.
And it's a ripoff. I'd ripped it off of my fucking cousin. God bless her.
Oh, that doesn't matter. Don't say that.
Oh.
Don't. What?
I love my cousin. I love her.
No,
But,
don't give her. Don't gotta give any credit for jokes. If like
my cousin's husband, right? He had my dad's brother's son-in-law.
Huh.
No, my dad's brother nephew-in-law.
This
My
doesn't
dad.
matter. This doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He had the first television show like live
Ever?
streamed web streamed on the internet.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. I would tell you what it is, but then everyone would
Porn.
dox me.
Porn.
No, nothing like that. But it's pretty famous. But the first web-based television show. Yep.
That's amazing. That's pretty
It
interesting.
is. It is.
Did you ever get involved with it or anything?
No, they were about 10 years older than me,
Oh, okay.
and
It wasn't sexual.
not physically, but
Oh,
no. But she did years ago. She had a cable access show,
that's
and
cool.
and so did he. Yeah, years ago in 1992, 1991 or something. And then they had from there. It was like a sketch comedy, popular. Think about 1990, 91
Dude,
sketch comedy.
if this was 1991, we would be on public access right now, and no one would be fucking watching.
That's right. Instead, we have
Alright.
200 dedicated marks who,
least check
seem
it
to
out.
watch our show every week.
They'll at least check it out.
They'll check it out.
Yeah. So I
Hopefully, they'll
appreciate that.
smash that like button.
smash that like button.
Because what
Subscribe.
Popularity Contest Podcast offers is a unique glimpse into the the mind, the conscience of the the citizen of the 21st century, the true citizen. And it's not necessarily what you want, because I don't have all the answers for you. I mean, I have the big answer for everything, right? But that's the rejected answer. So
Yeah, the people they don't want the good answer. This is what they want.
the answer
You know
that
what they
God
want?
is real. They don't want that answer.
No, they don't.
They want data points. Fucking.
They want the truth. This is
Oh,
what
the
they
truth.
want.
The
They
truth.
want
Yeah.
the truth.
Go on, boss.
The
Yeah.
truth. The truth. They want the relative truth to them. Is what they want. They want what's perceived as truth to them, which is why we offer value to you, because you can go out to all these other conspiracy carnies and you can get their version of truth, right? Or you can come to us, who calls you addicts, right? Tells you that you need this. It's not us that you need the content. Don't deny it, right? You need the content.
That's right, boss. That's right.
And me telling you that you need the content and that you're an addict and that you know this, that's truth. So that's going to resonate just as much as that other truth. Truth resonates. That's the fucking truth. You want truth? You got the truth. You suck. Same as us. Same as us. We're just more self-aware. That's all it is. Come over to Popularity Contest. Suck with us. Be a mark. You're all marks. I don't think people understand what marks are, by the way.
If you sit around all day watching videos related to secrets and the truth and history and the nature of our reality, what are you, Kazooie?
A mark.
That's right, Kazooie. That's right, a mark.
Thank
So
you.
you're gonna still be a mark, and that's okay. But come over to us where we accept that and celebrate it. So we're not gonna fucking let these fucking carnies go under the radar, though. We're not gonna act like the guy running the fucking dart booth is some kind of fucking priest in disguise. Right. He's a fucking carny bitch.
He's a carny bitch. Exactly.
Right.
That's exactly
right.
what he is.
The truth is behind the balloon pierced by the dart. I only need $5 to fucking let you have it. How about this? You can have we just need the $5. Actually 15. But we just need that. The thing behind the balloon, that's just a gimmick. We're not going to give you any gimmicks for the money.
That's right. You get the this is what you get for. You get to know that you did the right thing. You get the satisfaction of knowing you've done the right thing. You've chosen to support something that you enjoy. That's what I do. I don't subscribe to too many Patreons, but I subscribe to a few because I've figured out it's well, I got the corporations and the media telling me what I should like my whole life. And there are certain things that I have to go and that's what's just waiting for me on Netflix or whatever, right? I can just go there and it's recommended. It's this is probably what you watch. And I don't have choices. Or I go out of my way to watch certain people. I get a few hours of entertainment out of it or whatever. I'm that's stuff that I actually chose to like. So I'm going to fucking, throw it a little bit of love. That's all it is. Just doing the right fucking thing. Doing the fucking right thing.
In this world, your emails about, thank you for pointing this out, and your likes, your thumbs up, they're worth something, I guess, but they're not worth something to the me that is the member of the platform, right? They're not worth in this world the continuation of the thing you enjoy is perpetuated by the dollar, right? I'm not going to pretend it's something different. I'm not going to. It's true. If you want something to persist, you have to support it in a way that maintains the existence of that thing. Sunshine and rain maintain the existence of, in the whole biosphere of natural life.
Mm-hmm.
Your thumbs up doesn't mean fuck all to that. And the same with us. We'll still be around, but if you want us to keep going, if you want us to blossom and thrive,
have a chance. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say
it's not going to be fucking YouTube. No one makes any money off that except for the elite carnies. But it's not going to be some podcast platform that we don't update regularly enough anyway. It's going to be by financial contributions. The Patreon isn't something that you should consider what do I get for this? What real object do I get out of it? It's what ethereal object you get out of it, and it's the knowledge that you've done the right thing. The digital tip jar.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
Yeah, no, and just here's the thing. I think last week we opened up the Discord. We only had like a couple people in here before, maybe 5 or something like that, 6, maybe 4 people participating. Opened it up for a week. We got an influx of people because we're like, let's just come on in for free, whatever. Some people joined the Patreon. That was fantastic. And those people are the ones that are most active on here that I enjoy talking to. So it's fantastic. We got a lot of people come, and all of a sudden the place just got way more fun. I was having fun here before. So it's not like you don't.
Do you know how many people? Do you know how many people we got joining the Discord? You know how many people we have there right now? 32 members, boss. 32.
32 in a week. There you go. 32 is something, I guess.
It's huge. What an increase. What an increase.
Yeah, from 4. So that's good. I mean, it really does. So it's like you're not. My point is like we say you're not doing anything, you're just doing the right thing, but you're actually getting the community. People like coming over here and hanging out.
Oh wait, what you're saying is doing the right thing yields its own benefits? Why, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. Every fucking time, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I was I like that you can come here and not have to feel like you have to defend yourself no matter what you say. It's just people having a good time. So come join the Discord, have a good time with us, support things if you're into like what we're trying to do or what we're doing already, but we are going to, try to keep pushing this a little bit. I know we've adapted the way we've done it for anyone that's watched for a little while, and you're kind of seeing the way we change it. Yeah, we're going to have a good time with this, and we're going to start putting out stuff a lot more often, possibly messing around with like some shorter videos throughout the week. We might we'll see, just so we can get more content out. And so, because we don't have that much time to get a hold of each other for this long of time. So anyone that's still listening here right now, we appreciate it, that you got all the way through it. And I think we talked last time about, we are going to be doing like a deep dive on something here pretty quick. That's
the Chowchilla kidnapping case, boss. Yeah. Are you ready?
Chowchilla. Yeah. No, I've been
give him a little give him a little taste.
Yeah, so I'll set the stage a little bit for you. So back in the 70s, there was some rich boys that apparently, this is the story, got an idea that they're going to kidnap like 26 children, school children, on a bus, and then hold them for ransom. And what they did in the meantime was they trapped them, with guns, put them on the bus, hijacked the bus, drove it, buried the bus in the ground in like the middle of nowhere, like 13
a rock quarry.
A rock quarry.
Yeah.
Covered it with dirt, and the children end up escaping, and it just became a massive media thing. Thank God everyone's happy the children escape. But we looked into it, and it's a very interesting thing, and this is like just quality material for like, it could be a hoax, it could not be a hoax, and I just would like to go over the information and share that with people.
But right now we're still digging up the research, and we're trying to put it together in the kind of format that once we release it, there will be no comparison. When you go to reach to the bookshelf on the authoritative story of the Chowchilla kidnapping story, you will reach to the Popularity Contest podcast, because it will be a multi-part deep dive into all the available documentation about the kidnapping story. There will be no more declarative source at all.
When it comes to the Chowchilla kidnapping, this is so like people that aren't even familiar with it. This is just about what we're doing on the show, and you being fans of the show, hopefully. Take into consideration, like anytime someone posts a little documentary or talk about this, it gets a few thousand views, up to like 350,000 views. How funny would it be if we were the people that they accidentally all clicked on, and they had to experience what you guys know is fun? And you know what I mean? They're going in there thinking it's just gonna be about the Chowchillas. I'm over here with retard next to me, and we're calling each other gay. That's fantastic.
And I'm here too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not nice to call Kazooie retard, but
poor little
Kazooie. I'm here too.
So realize that you're supporting that. The fact that there's normies that are going to be getting a hold of this podcast because we're going to set them up with some stuff. And then also it's for you guys to be interested in, but they'll click on it and they're going to see
it's for anyone. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's going to be the authoritative source. There will be no more. So far, I've only looked at 11 11 mainstream sources, including the summary judgment from the trial itself. So, I'm ordering the books written by some of the victims. It's going to be an authoritative exploration like you've never heard before on any kind of alternative conspiracy truth platform ever.
Yeah,
So
you guys see what we do when we're talking. It's going to be that with us focusing, so that should be fun. I'm actually looking forward to that, but it'll still be us being us, which is going to be, again, just so funny. Doesn't mean that we're funny, but it's just going to be funny for people that are just clicking on it from YouTube. I mean, that's going to be awesome if we can get regular people thinking they're interested in this kidnapping to click on us.
Kazooie, if you're into the popularity contest podcast, what are you?
Mark. Hey, Mark.
That's exactly right, boss.
That's
true. Exactly right.
Mark doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. We're all marks for something, right?
Unless you're a mark for something besides us. All right. Take us home.
All right. Anyway, so you're still here. We appreciate it. Make sure fucking subscribe to the YouTube. Don't just watch it.
Smash that like button.
Got to. You know why? Because this stupid shit matters with these stupid algorithms, and it's
Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes.
do all that stuff.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, and because we're competing against a bunch of morons, a bunch of pieces of shit putting content out there that aren't
Carnies they aren't self-aware.
Yeah, that's all it is. So just try to help us out. We appreciate it. We really do. Come join the Discord. If you want a link, you can just.
Should we leave it open for another week?
Yes.
The last time. All right.
I'll leave it up
for the last time.
I'll leave it up in another week,
All right.
and then people can come in. But anyway, all right. You've been listening to Popularity Contest episode 9 with myself and Original Simulant
and Kazooie.
on Kazooie, young Kazooie. All right. Thanks a lot. Peace.